Most mornings, millions of seniors over 60 sit down for breakfast with the best intentions. They skip the donuts. They avoid the sugary cereal they used to love. They pour a glass of what they think is healthy juice, make some toast, maybe grab a yogurt from the fridge. And then, an hour later, their blood sugar is higher than when they woke up. They feel foggy, tired, confused about what went wrong. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. And more importantly, you're not doing anything wrong. You just haven't been given the right information yet. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what the perfect diabetic breakfast looks like for someone over 60, backed by research from the American Diabetes Association, Mayo Clinic, and leading endocrinologists. And you'll have a simple, delicious, practical morning routine you can start tomorrow. So stay with me, because the next 10 minutes could genuinely change how you feel every single day. Here's what most people don't realize about breakfast and diabetes after 60. Your body processes blood sugar very differently at 65 than it did at 40. As we age, insulin sensitivity naturally decreases. That means your cells don't respond to insulin as efficiently as they once did, which makes blood sugar spikes both more likely and more damaging. According to research published by the American Diabetes Association in early 2026, the morning meal is the single most impactful eating decision a diabetic senior makes all day. What you eat in the first hour after waking sets the tone for your glucose levels, your energy, your mental clarity, and your appetite for the entire day. Get it right, and everything else becomes easier. Get it wrong, and you spend the rest of the day chasing stability you can never quite reach. So what does getting it right actually look like? The science is consistent and clear. The perfect diabetic breakfast for seniors has 3 non-negotiable components. And when these 3 things come together at the same meal, something remarkable happens inside your body. Your glucose rises slowly and steadily instead of spiking. Your insulin response is manageable. You feel full and satisfied for hours. And your blood sugar stays within a healthy range well into the afternoon. Those 3 components are protein, fiber, and healthy fat. Not one of them, not 2. All 3, together at the same meal every morning. Let me explain exactly why each one matters so much for someone over 60 with diabetes, and then I'll show you how to combine them into a breakfast that's not just healthy, it's genuinely enjoyable. Let's start with protein, because this is the one that most seniors are getting far too little of at breakfast. Protein does something extraordinary for blood sugar management. When you eat protein at the start of your day, it significantly slows the digestion of any carbohydrates you eat alongside it. Instead of glucose flooding your bloodstream all at once, it trickles in gradually, giving your body time to manage it properly. Research from the OSF healthcare system and cited by the American Diabetes Association confirms that adding a quality protein source to breakfast can reduce post-meal blood sugar spikes by a meaningful margin in people with type 2 diabetes. For seniors specifically, protein also plays a critical role in preserving muscle mass, which directly affects insulin sensitivity. The more muscle you maintain, the better your cells respond to insulin. And the best breakfast protein sources for diabetic seniors are the ones that are low in carbohydrates and low in unhealthy fats. Eggs are at the top of that list. A large egg contains essentially 0 carbohydrates, roughly 6 grams of high-quality protein, and a rich mix of vitamins and healthy fats. A 2021 study confirmed that eggs are not only safe for people with diabetes, but can be actively beneficial when consumed as part of a balanced breakfast. Plain, unsweetened Greek yogurt is another outstanding option. It's high in protein, supports gut health, and when you choose the unsweetened variety, it has a very modest impact on blood sugar. Cottage cheese, a small portion of smoked salmon, or even a tablespoon of natural almond butter all fit this category. The key is that your protein source shows up at breakfast every single day. Now let's talk about fiber, because this is the second pillar of the perfect diabetic breakfast, and it's the one that's most misunderstood. Most seniors know fiber is good for digestion. What fewer people realize is that fiber is one of the most powerful tools available for managing blood sugar, particularly in the morning. Soluble fiber, the kind found in oats, chia seeds, berries, and avocado, forms a kind of gel in your digestive tract that physically slows the absorption of glucose into your bloodstream. Think of it like a traffic controller for sugar. Instead of a rush of glucose all at once, it comes through steadily in a controlled flow your body can actually handle. Steel-cut oats are one of the most well-researched fiber sources for diabetic seniors. They contain a specific type of soluble fiber called beta-glucan, which multiple studies have shown can meaningfully lower post-meal blood sugar levels. The critical distinction is steel-cut or rolled oats, not instant oats, which are processed in a way that dramatically raises their glycemic index and undermines this effect entirely. Chia seeds are another remarkable fiber source for breakfast. A single 1-ounce serving contains nearly 10 grams of fiber, and because chia seeds absorb liquid and form a gel-like texture, they digest extremely slowly, keeping blood sugar stable for hours. Berries, blueberries, strawberries, raspberries are low in sugar compared to most fruits. high in fiber and rich in antioxidants that have been linked to reduced inflammation in people with diabetes. And avocado, which we'll come back to, is one of the most fiber-dense and blood sugar-friendly foods available for a morning meal. Are you still with me? Because what I'm about to share is the part most people overlook, and it might be the most important piece of this entire conversation. The third pillar of the perfect diabetic breakfast is healthy fat. Now I know that word fat makes a lot of seniors nervous. For decades, we were told that fat was the enemy. Low-fat products lined the grocery store shelves. Doctors told patients to cut fat wherever they could. But the science has moved significantly on this, and what we now understand is that healthy fats, the kind found in avocados, nuts, olive oil, and eggs, are not just safe for diabetic seniors, they are actively beneficial. Here's why. Fat slows gastric emptying, the rate at which food moves from your stomach into your small intestine. When that process is slowed, glucose enters your bloodstream more gradually. This means that adding a source of healthy fat to your breakfast creates a natural buffer against blood sugar spikes. A study published in the journal Nutrients found that adults who ate a whole avocado for breakfast reported significantly greater satiety, feeling full, and more stable blood sugar levels throughout the morning compared to those who had a lower fat breakfast with the same calorie count. For seniors managing diabetes, that feeling of fullness matters beyond just comfort. When you're satisfied after breakfast, you're far less likely to reach for a mid-morning snack that undoes all the good work you just did. So now let's put all three of these pillars together into a real, practical breakfast. Something you can actually make tomorrow morning that tastes good and that checks every box the science requires. The first option, and perhaps the most powerful breakfast a diabetic senior can eat, is 2 scrambled eggs cooked in a small amount of olive oil served alongside half an avocado and a small bowl of fresh berries. Let's break down exactly what's happening here nutritionally. The eggs provide around 12 grams of high-quality protein with virtually 0 carbohydrates. The olive oil adds monounsaturated fat that supports heart health. Critically important, since diabetics are at significantly elevated cardiovascular risk. The avocado adds both healthy fat and fiber, about 7 grams of fiber in half an avocado, which works together with the protein and fat in the eggs to create an exceptionally slow, controlled glucose release. And the berries add natural sweetness, antioxidants, and a modest additional fiber contribution without meaningfully impacting blood sugar. This breakfast typically produces a post-meal blood sugar rise of well under 30 points in most people with type 2 diabetes, a number that many seniors currently see spiking by 60, 80, or even over 100 points with their current morning routine. The second option is a bowl of steel-cut oatmeal topped with a tablespoon of natural almond butter, a small handful of walnuts, and a quarter cup of fresh blueberries. Again, let's look at the science. Steel-cut oats provide beta-glucan fiber that specifically targets blood sugar management. The almond butter adds protein and healthy fat that slow digestion. The walnuts contribute additional omega-3 fatty acids, a nutrient that research has linked to improved insulin sensitivity over time. And the blueberries are one of the most studied fruits for diabetic health, with multiple studies showing their anthocyanins, the compounds that give them their deep blue color, actively support better glucose metabolism. This breakfast takes about 15 minutes to prepare and can be made in large batches in advance. Many seniors make a pot of steel-cut oats at the beginning of the week and simply reheat a portion each morning, adding their toppings fresh. It is filling, genuinely delicious, and produces a very stable blood sugar curve through the morning. The third option is plain Greek yogurt, unsweetened, full fat or low fat, topped with 2 tablespoons of chia seeds, a handful of mixed berries, and a light drizzle of pure almond butter. This combination is particularly popular among seniors who prefer something cold and refreshing in the morning rather than a hot cooked meal. The Greek yogurt delivers 18 to 20 grams of protein per serving, depending on the brand. The chia seeds add nearly 10 grams of fiber and a remarkable ability to slow digestion. The berries contribute natural flavor, antioxidants, and additional fiber. And the almond butter ties it together with healthy fat and an extra protein boost. This breakfast can be prepared the night before. Simply mix the yogurt, chia seeds, and a splash of almond milk, refrigerate overnight, and add the berries and almond butter in the morning. Many seniors find this one of the easiest routines to maintain consistently, and consistency is ultimately what produces results. Now, there's one more element of the perfect diabetic breakfast that research strongly supports, and almost no one talks about. It's the order in which you eat your food. A growing body of research, including studies cited by OSF Healthcare and leading diabetes educators, shows that eating protein and vegetables before carbohydrates at the same meal can reduce the post-meal blood sugar spike by up to 37%. This is called meal sequencing. It means that if your breakfast includes oatmeal alongside eggs, you eat the eggs first. If you have yogurt with berries and a slice of whole grain toast, you eat the yogurt before the toast. This simple habit, eating protein and fat before carbohydrates changes the hormonal environment in your gut in a way that meaningfully blunts the glucose response. It costs nothing. It requires no extra preparation. And for diabetic seniors, it can make a measurable difference in daily blood sugar control. Have you been eating breakfast in a way that's been quietly working against your blood sugar all this time? You're certainly not alone if you have. And the good news is that every single thing we've talked about today is simple, affordable, and completely achievable starting tomorrow morning. Choose your protein: eggs, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, smoked salmon. Add your fiber: steel-cut oats, chia seeds, berries, avocado, whole grain bread. Include your healthy fat: avocado, olive oil, nuts, almond butter. Eat your protein before your carbohydrates. And make this routine consistent, because in diabetes management, consistency is the variable that produces the most meaningful long-term results in your A1C and your daily well-being. If this video helped you, I want to ask you something. Drop a comment below and tell me, what does your current breakfast look like? Are you already eating some of these foods, or is this a complete change from what you've been doing? I read every comment, and your story might be exactly what someone else on this channel needs to hear today. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do, because every single week we're bringing you the most important, evidence-based health information for seniors over 60 who want to live longer, feel better, and stay independent on their own terms. There is so much more coming, and you don't want to miss it. This video is for educational and informational purposes only. It is not intended as medical advice. Always consult your doctor or a qualified healthcare professional before making any changes to your diet, medication, or health routine.